Hello everyone, welcome to the purple classes of the Rest Indicais Academy, Desh Badla Padhai Badlo. Today we'll be talking about the very important topic of Indian economy, that too in the infrastructure side, and we'll be discussing about ports and shipping. As you all know, that it is a very important major topic, and the government of India is putting a lot of emphasis on development of the port and the shipping infrastructure in our country. So similarly, we'll be talking about the basics of the port and shipping and how we are developing our port and shipping infrastructure and how it is boosting the employment, how it is boosting the trade, how it's boosting the local environment and everything. We will be discussing all these things in this whole session. So let's start with our session. So this is Indian economy, port and shipping. The very important topic. We have already completed the road infrastructure. We have already completed the railway infrastructure. Okay, and right now we are aviation sector. We have already discussed, and now we will be doing the port and shipping infrastructure. Okay, so here we are into the infrastructure side where we have discussed the road, airports and railway, and right now we are doing ports, and next class we will be coming with telecommunication. Okay, in the next class we'll be coming with the telecommunication. So as you all know that we have already completed this much part of the syllabus. Okay, for that we have the videos that are available to all of you, so you can just go there and you can go ahead and start watching the video and start making the short notes so that your basic understanding can be developed, and based on your basic understanding you can develop the current you can put the current affairs, you can supplement it with current affairs. Okay, so this is how you have to go about it, right? Okay, so first of all we have to go with the major overview of the port and shipping. Exactly, like what is the India stand in the port and shipping right now in the world. So India is the 16th largest maritime country in the world. 16 largest, like based on the trade volume, based on the type of ships it can encounter, and the based on the type of the ships it can handle and the type of maritime trade and everything. It is the 16th largest maritime country in the world. Okay, so this is the first fact regarding this. Then India maritime sector contribute 95% of the Indian trade. So whatever the trade is happening in our country, whether internally or externally, it is like 95% of trade by volume. Okay, and 70% trade by value. So these are the two things, like 95% based on volume and 70% by value. Okay, that means if there is 100 billion trade that is going on in our country, so 70 billion trade is being done by the maritime sector. Okay, so this is how you try to find out the value and the type of the volume and the importance of this whole sector. This is how you were able to find out. So with this, India becomes the third largest globally in terms of ship recycling by tonnage. Okay, you might be knowing the Alang, right? Alang, if you know, it is near the western coast. Near the western coast, it is the major ship breaking industry of our country and of the world. So Alang ship breaking is the major ship breaking yard in our country. So under that, if we go by that, so it consists of a very extreme capacity. It is having a very high capacity of ship breaking. High capacity of ship breaking. Okay, so here a lot of ships even from the international clients are coming, and there are a lot of areas, around 14 kilometers of the area is there where the ship breaking is going on, and plenty of ships are being decomposed in single go. So it was established in 1983, 1982 and 83 it got established. So it is a leading green ship recycling yard of our country. Okay, so here the ships are coming for their peaceful and healthy demolition, right? So there are a lot of plots are there where which is also called a ship graveyard is there. Okay, so here you can take the full benefit out of the whole area. So the ship breaking yard is using very high end premium technologies in the breaking of the ships and so that it doesn't harm the people, it doesn't harm the environment, and all of it has been done in a totally sustainable way, right? So length of the coastline, it is catering to 14 kilometer in the Alang is there, and total 4.5 million tons of tonnage displacement is going on, and it is a very important green ship recycling technology that is they are utilizing over there in the Alang. Okay, so this is the overview regarding the, so India is known for the very important ship recycling yard is also there. Okay, now so we will be telling like what are the important growth drivers in our country. Okay, like there are certain things which have the, we call it as advantage India. So there has to be something in which that India is providing some kind of advantages, right? So we have a well developed national waterways in our country. Around 111 waterways are identified. Okay, 111 waterways are being already identified, which are being utilized to bring in and send the cargo from one place to the other. Okay, so this is one of the growth driver of Indian port and shipping company. Then a flagship scheme, a very important flagship scheme that government is running is the Sagarmala project. Okay, Sagarmala project is like we are seeing, like we have a coastline of around 7,500 kilometer, main coastline we are talking about, it is of 7,500 kilometers, right? To the sides of the India, western coast and eastern coast included, right? So around 567 projects under Sagarmala. So under Sagarmala there are various heads are there under which these 567 projects are being defined. Okay, so there is a cost that is for holistic development of the coastal districts that are happening of a cost of 59,000 crore rupees, right? Then we have a container manufacturing facility. You know, there are 20-foot containers are there. Okay, 20-foot equivalent. Okay, TWE. Okay, 20-foot equivalent containers are there, TUW. So which are utilized for there are you might have seen that ships are there. Okay, which are being loaded with containers. These container have a length of 20 foot. Every container has a length of 20 foot. So in the name of like what is the container ship, I wanted to find out. So here you see it is called TEU. That means 20-foot equivalent unit. 20-foot equivalent unit. That means the one container ship. Okay, one container which we see is of 20 foot of 20 foot long, 8 foot wide, and usually 8.6 feet high. So this is what is the basic statistics of your container ship. Okay, normally it is 20 feet of length, right? So based on these container and how much ships, like there are a lot of ships are there which can put 10,000 container, 10,000 TEU. Some ships are having of higher capacity, 20,000 TEU. Okay, that means they are keeping 25,000 container on them. Okay, so this is how it has been decided. So container manufacturing has started in Bhavnagar in Gujarat, developed as a container manufacturing hub. Then we have a cruise shipping. Okay, you know, we have a Ganga Vilas, in which that was a 52 days cruise ship that is started from Varanasi, and it went all to the Bangladesh, then through our national parks, then we it has gone to the Assam and all and the Assam and all those places. So it was whole being booked by a single country people. Okay, so cruise shipping is again a potential sector. Then specialized terminal based port are there. Okay, like we have lot of liquefied nitrogen gas are there. Okay, so there are certain terminals which are special, like they might be putting crude oil. Okay, they might be putting LNG gas. Okay, so they require a separate dealing. Okay, they require a separate dealing. Okay, so they should have a separate terminal based port should be there. Then there is a lot of export that has even started from our country. So there is a need for development of the port infrastructure, because as you all know that 70 to 80% of our product is only transferred from the shipping method, right? Because the air method is costly and road method is not connected that much well with the world. So shipping is the cheapest, and you can send bulky materials through this. Okay, even coal, iron ore, and various other ores are there. If you go, like, if you have you heard that we are getting coal from Australia? We are getting coal from Australia, so they are coming through the shipping. Okay, they are coming through the shipping, and there are large coal ships are there which are bringing the coal from the various part of the world to the country, and we are also selling some parts to the other part of the world, right? Then government is running a very important program that is called Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, that is self-reliance. In during the COVID-19 time in 2020, government has released a package of 20 lakh crore in order to boost the economic activity in our country, right? So this is helpful in promotion of the manufacturing in India, and government is also running PLI, production linked incentive schemes, that government is running in order to boost the productivity in our country. More and more you produce, the more and more incentives you will be getting, right? Now we are moving towards some more overview over this port infrastructure. Now, under the port and shipping infrastructure, we come across the concept of major ports and non-major ports. Okay, so in our country we have a 12 major ports are there, which we'll be discussing in the coming slides, and around 200 non-major ports are there. Okay, so major ports are being under direct control of the central government, and non-major ports are under the direct control of the state government, right? So major ports are already fully functional to their capacity, and only 65 non-major ports handle the cargo, and rest non-major ports are there which are focusing on fishing vessel and small fish. That means these 65 non-major ports are there which are handling the cargo means like TEU, okay, 20-foot equivalent unit, that is called containers. Okay, these are being held by this 65 non-major port, and rest the 135 non-major ports are there which are catering to the small fishing vessel or small ferry ships are there, right? So this is how the major ports and non-major ports are being categorized. And regulatory framework, like who's controlling the things. So major ports are governed by the Major Port Trust Act of 2021. If there is any update, we will be updating you with the current affair. Whereas Indian Port Act of 1908 regulate the non-major port, okay, where anchoring and mooring of these things are being done. Then what is the constitutional status? Normally, as per Indian constitution, the maritime transport comes under the concurrent list. Concurrent list means like the major ports are being supervised by the Central Shipping Ministry, while the minor ports are being under the immediate control of the state government. Okay, so this is how the things are being divided among the central government and the state government, and this is working very fine. Now, management and oversight of the port. So whatever the major ports are there in our country, major ports, they are overseen by the board of trustees. So there is a board of trustee that has been appointed by the government of India. So they will be helpful in port development, they will be helpful in port management and operation and all those things, right? So this is how, based on the trust for every major port, the trust has been created and government of India is responsible, and this trust is responsible for port development, management and operation. Now comes to the cargo handling capacity. What is the capacity over all the ports? So whatever the India topmost ports are there, they have a capacity of 1598 million tons per annum of cargo in financial year. Okay, so major ports are handling 720 million tons. Okay, and they are showing a compounded aggregate growth rate of 2.89%, which we are focusing on to increase in the coming future when we are able to do a proper development of the port infrastructure development. Then non-major ports accounted for 45% of the total cargo. That means there is a substantial shift of traffic from major to non. That means from major to non-major ports there is a shift that is happening, and now the non-major ports are gaining much more importance because the shift of the ports, because the non-major ports are started handling major cargo operation in our country. Okay, in order to ease down the pressure on the major ports. Okay, now cargo handling, if we see, we have already seen that that 704 million tons and 2.5% growth rate is there, majorly driven by the coal, container and iron ore traffic. So maximum things which are coming is coal, container and iron ore traffic, it is there. So this is the major growth handling areas are there. Okay, now we are coming into the efficiency. How you are able to find out the efficiency of any port operation is that it is based on when the ships arrive, ships unloaded, then ship loaded and sent back. Okay, so how much time it is taking in loading, unloading and sending back, that decides how efficient your time period. Okay, so average turnaround time has started reducing. Earlier it was 82 hours, now it is 64 hours are there, right? Then pre-berthing detention has been reduced from 26 to 20 hours. Okay, by the time it is going to be set up onto the port. Okay, then because of this lower of the average turnaround time and pre-berthing detention, there is a lowering of the logistic cost, because the more faster loading and unloading can happen, the more faster the ships keeps on flowing, right? So because of that, less fuel, less time and lower of the logistic cost that will be there. Okay, then capacity utilization. So our major ports have improved capacity utilization because of the improved infrastructure and better technologies. Okay, better infrastructure and better technologies. Right now, earlier we were utilizing the capacity of only 67% of our 100%, but slowly it has increased to 72% in 2019 and 20. That means we are yet to reach close to full capacity utilization, but yeah, as we move forward, slowly we will be helpful, we will be getting more and more technologies, we will be becoming more and more efficient in utilizing our port capacity. Now container traffic. What is the container traffic? So if we go by the concept of container traffic, so there is a steady growth, not an arithmetic or exponential growth, steady, slow and steady, right? So right now in 2020 and 21, we were handling 17.5 million TEU, 20 foot equivalent. What? 20 foot equivalent units. Okay, that means how much? In 10 million we are having 1 crore, right? And 7.5 million we are having 75 lakhs and 1 crore. So 1 crore 75 lakhs containers we are handling. 1 crore 75 lakhs container we are handling, right? So this is what showing a growth of 3.7%, okay, from the previous year. So slowly and steady it is growing. And we have a new concept that we have taken is port led industrialization, like how we can use the port to industrialize our country and to improve the industrial development of our country. Okay, so Indian ports have successfully promoted the port led industrialization, because in India factories are making product and these factories are transferring the product with the help of ships and shippings. So the better we have a shipping facility, the better our product can go to the international market, right? So we have even started opening industrial clusters, special economic zone, coastal economic zone, coastal economic zones are also getting created around the port, and government is providing a lot of subsidies, lot of support in the form of incentive, tax breaks and everything to attract the investment and also to generate the employment. And since if these are all working properly, automatically it will help in contributing the economic growth in the port and nearby the port area, and it will be having a trickle down effect. Trickle down effect. So it will be trickle down. So like if port here, automatically the development will be following in all the places. Okay, if this is the port, so automatically it will, the growth will trickle down in near the all the near surrounding areas. This is how it is going to work. Now we are moving towards the very important example under the concept of major and minor port. So let's discuss the major and minor port first. So before going to the major and minor port, we have to go and we have to talk about the APSEZ. That is called Adani Port and Special Economic Zone Limited. A very important topic to discuss on that, because as you all know that whenever we come to know about the Adani groups, they are being always associated with the world of port infrastructure. They are the largest commercial port operator in India, and 1/4 of the total cargo movement that is happening in India has been done by the APSEZ Mundra port. You might be knowing that it is called Mundra port. Okay, so they have a presence in 13 domestic ports, like in the Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Odisha. They are being present all over there. They have a wide footprints are there, and they have been using the latest cargo handling infrastructure, all the state of the art facility they are utilizing, and they are handling 5 lakh 20 foot equivalent unit annually. Okay, 5 lakh 20 foot equivalent unit they are handling by the Adani one. Okay, so they are providing the integrated port infrastructure, in which Mundra port is always being seen in our country. Okay, so around 8,000 hectare area it has been already it is taking care of the 8,000, and they have created that as a total economic hub, and they have created a large multi-project over here. Free trade warehouse zone is there, domestic industrial zone they have created. Okay, so everything related to port and whatever is needed at that area has been all been included in order to provide better logistic solution, in order to provide better operational efficiency, and also low cost operation to their clients. Okay, so here, what is APSEZ? APSEZ is Adani Port Special Economic Zone, India's largest private multi-port operator and India's largest SEZ at Mundra. Okay, it is the largest network of port with India's largest SEZ at Mundra, and government is also planning to modernize these port and also approve the project under the Sagarmala. Okay, so before going ahead, first of all we should know that under what convention that we are here regarding, like we know near Alang, we have a ship breaking facility is there. So we India is a signatory to Hong Kong International Convention. So what is that Hong Kong International Convention? Is that it is regarding the safe and environmentally sound recycling of the ship. So India has to follow all the international rules and regulation in order to break the ship, in order to recycle the ship. Now we are coming into the major and minor port. So the largest port in Arabian Sea is Nhava Sheva Port. Nhava Sheva Port. Everybody might be thinking, sir, where is that Jawaharlal Nehru Port? Actually, Nhava Sheva Port is also known as Jawaharlal Nehru, JNPT. We call it as JNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. You know that JNPT is connected by DFC, dedicated freight corridor, right? A dedicated freight line from Dadri to Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. Alright, so largest port in Arabian Sea is Nhava Sheva Port or we call it as JNPT. And what is the largest port in Bay of Bengal? It is Chennai Port in Tamil Nadu. Okay, and there is certain more things are there, like Tamil Nadu is having the maximum number of major seaport. Okay, maximum number of major seaport are present in Tamil Nadu. And Port Blair, that is in Andaman and Nicobar, has been notified as major port in 2010 but removed recently. So what are the some major ports that are there in our country is Kandla Port is there, Gujarat, Mumbai, JNPT, Mormugao, New Mangalore, Cochin. Then here you can see here Ennore, Chennai Port Trust is there. Then Visakhapatnam is there, Paradeep is there, then Kolkata is there. So these are the major ports which are handling the major cargo facility of our country. Okay, so these are the major ports of our country. Now we are moving towards the minor ports. Some of the minor ports, as you all know that Indian Constitution, the maritime transport comes under the concurrent list, right? So ports are either under the management of the central government or the state government. So central shipping is handling major ports, and minor ports are being handled by the state government maritime. But that you should always be knowing that. Okay, so now slowly there is a huge increase in the participation of the private sector as more and more cargo traffic, more and more ship traffic, and more ports are getting developed. So more and more facilities and more technological development are also taking place in this whole field. So government is also developing a minor port along with the major port in order to ease down the pressure on the major ports. Okay, so there is a Azikal port that is on the mouth of the Valapatnam river in Kerala, then Kunnur in Kerala, Kandapur, Udupi district, Karnataka, Dahej in Gujarat, Jafrabad, Gulf of Cambay, Gujarat, Khasaragod in Kerala, Karaikal in Pondicherry, Gopalpur in Odisha. If you see, these are some of the minor ports are there which are supplementing or which are helping the major ports in dealing with the cargo in our own country. Okay, so this is what you should remember, some of the names regarding this. Now let's move into some of the significance of the port infrastructure, why we are giving so much of stress for developing the port infrastructure in our country, right? So there might be some reason. Obviously there is a reason. Like if you go to the old ages like 2000, 3000 years back, so you can see that all the trade happens through ships, boats, right? Even during the British time, Britishers came to India by ships and they were searching for some kind of trade values over here, right? They came with they wanted to find out the black gold. That means it is called as we call it as black pepper, right? They wanted to do trade with India. They wanted to trade with India in the form of like they wanted to buy the cotton. They wanted to buy the agriculture products from India. They wanted to buy the tea, coffee, and everything they wanted to buy. They wanted to buy spices in our country, right? But how they are going to take it back to their country? There was no road route is there, but it was not safe at all. And you cannot take big cargoes in that UK, but and it also take lot of hurdles are there. Lot of hurdles are there. So there was a safe route, proper route, not much hurdles are there. So it is a sea trade, sea route is there. So everywhere whenever you see, it is that our history and everything is being all being things are there which are related with history, is related with our sea trade. India and China were the first and the second richest country of the world because of this sea, or we call it as maritime trade. Okay, the China is wanted to build the Silk Route through Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, and everywhere. So this is all the trade that is happening, maritime trade that is happening since ages, right? So port play a very important and crucial role in the development of the country. Okay, because they are highly significant, because India has having a coastline of 7,500 kilometers. So there is ample opportunities at all these 7,500 kilometers of a line, which will be providing to the direct connectivity with the global market. We are getting full direct connectivity with the global market. If you just try to make a port anywhere, obviously you will be better connected with the world if you provide better class of infrastructure over there. Like, it will help in, first of all, trade facilitation, obviously, wherever. So this port provide a vital hubs. If you have a port, automatically the international trade has to come from you. We have a JNPT port, we have a Mumbai port, we have a Chennai port, we have a Kolkata port. So they are all dealing with the significant volume of cargoes, whether it is related to the consumer good, medicines, very a large scale of goods, or any type of goods are happening. So these are the points where the trade comes first. Okay, from the world, the container ships comes over here, and from here only it is getting distributed throughout the country, right? Then industrial growth. Whenever we are opening and whenever we are developing the port infrastructure, it will lead to export and import of raw material. We are getting imported raw material, and once after getting, we are converting it into a finished product and we are selling to outside world. Like Kandla port in Gujarat, we have a Kandla port is there. Okay, it is the largest port on the western side, one of the largest port on the western side. So there are a lot of industries like petroleum, chemical, and iron ore industries are there, which is being supported by this Kandla port. Crude oil is coming, chemicals are coming, iron ore are coming, and from there we are picking up these raw material and we are converting into the finished product. Okay, we are getting crude oil. We are getting crude oil and we are refining. We are refining the crude oil, and then we are selling these refined product to the outside world. Right now, right now Russia-Ukraine war is going on. Okay, Russia-Ukraine war is going on. So Russia is selling its crude to India. Then India is refining it, and India is selling it to the European Union nations and European countries or African countries. Okay, so this is boosting the industrial growth of the world along with us, right? Then we have it also creating a job creation. A lot of jobs are getting created because of the development of the port infrastructure, whether direct jobs or whether indirect jobs. Like, there are a lot of jobs which are related to the port operation, cargo handling, logistic facility, or related industry. So direct jobs are there. Along with the direct jobs, you have indirect jobs are there, like cargo handling, warehousing, transportation, truck drivers, maritime services. Okay, so if you go like if you go to the Paradip port in Odisha, it is boosting the maritime trade, and it is also generating employment to the local population also. Okay, so wherever the port infrastructure is coming, automatically everything related to port, whether you are construction activities are there, iron activities are there, transport activities are there, fishing trade is there, container trade is there. So all the related industries are also getting employment in this whole area. Okay, now the fourth one. So under the infrastructure development, whenever port infrastructure is getting developed, automatically roads will be connected over there, railway will be connected, because how you are going to transfer the large cargo, iron ore is there, coal ore is there, and various other thing is there, right? So roadways, railways, inland waterways, okay, so these all will get automatically connected to the port, because as you all know that 95% of the trade volume and value and 70% of the value, we are sending it with the ports. So that is why ports are the last mile connectivity that we wanted to connect from our hinterlands to the port area, and from port area gets connected with the outside market. Okay, so recently Mumbai Trans Harbour Link has been made especially to connect with the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, so that better efficient cargo movement can take place without any delay within the metropolitan city area. Automatically foreign trade will be boosting up. Whenever we have a better facility, whenever we have a better infrastructure and better handling facility, automatically foreign trade started boosting up, right? So whether you have a Mudra port, that is of Adani special economic zone, it is obviously helping us in countries containerized trade. You know, one fourth of the trade is being conducted in our country by Adani port and special economic zones that is there. Okay, so obviously with better handling facility, better operational efficiencies are increasing the competitiveness in the market. Then strategic importance, obviously ports are being known as strategically important area where we can stand our navy, okay, especially focusing on the national security. Okay, so there are a lot of geopolitical reasons are also there for development of the port infrastructure. Okay, along the coastline, along the various island coastline, Indian Ocean region, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep areas are there, which are strategically important. So we need to station our forces, we have to station our navies at all these area. So again, port development is also very necessary for all these areas. Then tourism and coastal activity, we know that tourism, water sports, okay, various type of sports are being done on the water. So similarly there are ferry services are there, port services are there. If you go to Kochi in Kerala, Goa ports are there. So these are the point for tourists to enter in our country. So this port development, because they are coming through various type of cruise ships and everything, so there is a growth of tourism industry and coastal economies throughout this whole area. Now whenever we have some advantage, obviously we have certain challenges are also associated with it. So what are the challenges of port infrastructure that we are facing? Obviously the first challenge that we are facing is the last mile connectivity. You know, it is very difficult to connect the major ports with the hinterlands. Okay, so there is a lot of problems related to railways, roadways, waterways. Okay, so again, this is a last mile connectivity. We don't have proper seamless connectivity. So we have tried to build the dedicated freight corridor and economic corridor lines in order to connect with the major ports. Like Port of Kolkata has a lot of challenges in connecting with the industrial regions in the eastern part, because there is no proper roads and rail infrastructure that is present. Okay, because of the local settings also and everything. So this is one of the example, like how we are our port infrastructure is hampering with the economic activity of our country, just because we don't have proper road and rail infrastructure which gets connected with the proper port. Then the second challenge is limited multimodal transport. Multimodal means like how we can connect with like from inland waterways to the railway, from railway to roadway, again from the roadway to the inland waterways, right? So multimodal transport facility is not seamless. Okay, so right now government have started creating a facility of creating multimodal logistic parks. Okay, multimodal logistics spark. So this concept government have started right now, and slowly it will be taking place in the coming years, and the things will be getting much more better connected in our country. Okay, like here we see like what is the issue, like port of Mumbai is there. So there is a lot of congestion because limited rail and road connectivity is there. Because of that, huge traffic is getting created, and because of that it imparts inefficiency in the whole operation process, right? Then bureaucratic red tape, obviously this is everywhere. So there is a lot of procedure, bureaucratic procedures are there, this file, that clearances and everything is there. It is leading to the delay in the port projects. You need environmental clearance, you need shipping ministry clearances, then prime minister office clearance and everything. Okay, so if you see here, Vizag port in Kerala has faced significant delay due to this. Because of that, there was a slowing down of the progress of this whole process. Then fourth one is infrastructure bottleneck, like road, railway, storage facility, all these creates bottleneck. Sometimes they are running to their full capacity, and after running of the full capacity there is bottlenecks, logjam happens over there. Okay, so if we go by the example, the Mudra port is there, which faces huge challenges of handling increased cargo volume, and because of that lot of delay happens in converting the ship and in reducing the turnaround time of the ships. Then we have some geopolitical factors are there, like we have a tension with our neighbors which can disrupt our trade route. We have a problem with Pakistan and China. So in the Arabian Sea we have, sometimes we can find various type of issues are there. Okay, so if a product is coming from nearby the Karachi port, so because of that they may affect the connectivity, they may stop our cargo during the war time and everything. So again there is the geopolitical factors that are there, right? Then environmental concerns are there. Okay, lot of regulations are there related to air, related to road, related to water, related to maritime lifestyle and everything, right? And at the same time we have to follow sustainable development goals also, right? So we go by, like there's a Ennore port in Tamil Nadu is there. So there are a lot of opposition they are facing because of the environmental group, because they are saying that because of the construction of this Ennore port or expansion of this port, it will lead to ecological impacts. Okay, so again this is again bigger hurdles in the construction of the port infrastructure. Then the last and the biggest concern is of the financial country. Thousands of crores of rupees is required, and the government is always short on money, short on resources, right? So government has to raise the money on the loans and various other things and bonds. So since government is also focusing on a very important project that is called Sagarmala project. Sagarmala project is a very important project that government is running, flagship program. So in order to enhance the connectivity, but it is facing challenges because government need resources and government is short of resources. So government is utilizing all the innovative way how they can go and find out the various type of resources for the development of this whole project. So these are there. So it requires a very important and coordinated effort from government side, from private sector side, and from various stakeholders side, so that they can all come together, they can all discuss their problem properly, they can streamline all the procedure, address the environmental concern and let it go ahead. Okay, so this is what is needed, that all the stakeholders have to come together in order to discuss the issue and they have to solve their problem at the earliest, right? Now coming the port-led development and their impact. Why we are focusing on the port-led development and what is the impact of that? So when we say port-led development, we are thinking that how port is leading to the development and what is the impact that is on that day. Okay. So whenever we are talking about the port-led development, obviously it has a potential impact on the region. Multitude of benefits are there. Obviously it will lead to the infrastructure enhancement, whether it is related to connectivity, whether it is related to modernization of the roads, modernization of the machines, or anything. And automatically it will lead to industrialization of that area, and whenever any industrialization is happening, automatically economic growth will happen in that area, right? So this is the first and important point of port-led development. And the second one is coastal community development. Automatically, wherever the sport development is taking place, automatically it will start helping the coastal population. Okay, so it will impact around 500 million people living in the coastal areas in our country, around the areas. So this is again a very important initiative in order to enhance the life of more than half of the population of India, around 500 million people that are living in the coastal areas. Then inland waterways. Whenever we are developing port, automatically the project like Sagarmala will start developing inland waterways, so that the things from the hinterlands, from the remotest areas, get connected and to the major ports of our country, right? Then tourism boost. Automatically, when we have a port-led connectivity, the cruise tourism will be start booming. From Mumbai, Chennai, Cochin, and right now we have inland waterways. Inland waterways are also there, which are going to create a very important tourism facility for our own country. But for that, we need to have a better, proper infrastructure that has to be developed at this. Then after that, we have a trade facilitation. Automatically, port-led development lead to trade facilitation at every way. Your trade volume will increase, your trade value will increase. Okay, it will become more and more critical in boosting your exports and import. It will be making more efficient. The process will become more efficient, streamlined, more efficient, more streamlined, more more connectivity is being provided in a proper way. Then once you have a port-led, you have a better port development, automatically more efficient cargo movement because of the improved technology that will happen. Okay, so we will be having major and minor ports are there, so automatically there will be the cluster that will be developed over there at that area. So there will be a seamless transport of cargo, seamless loading and unloading of the cargo that will be happening. Okay, then the seventh one is logistic cost reduction. Whenever we have a better port facility, whenever we have a better better loading and unloading facility, you know that the transportation through water is one of the cheapest way you are doing. Okay, so whenever you have a very better efficient operation of the port, automatically it decreases the logistic cost. Government is focusing make in India, made for India, make for the world, right? So automatically whatever, if we are utilizing all the things, resources from our India, obviously it will boost our international trade competitiveness. So I wanted to discuss some, like which all countries are there from where they get developed just because of their port-led infrastructure. So Singapore, one of the best example, China and UK, these are the three important countries are there which have shown to the world that port can lead to the industrialization. Port can lead because Singapore has a natural deep ports. Whenever they have a natural deep port, automatically they can put the heavier ship into their coast. Okay, and that is why Singapore has a trade in major economic sector and services that is producing, and major harbor facility that is being provided by the Singapore. Okay, major export of the Singapore happens through the port infrastructure. Then China again, the linear shipping connectivity index has shows that China container port are among the world most connected. world most connected. So this is again the advantage that China is having regarding the development of the port, because this is like they are connected, well connected. China container ports are well connected from various places. Then UK, obviously UK, all industrialization and everything. So port infrastructure is responsible for 57% of the gross value addition in the UK, and 52% of the employment generation, and 61% of the turnover in 2017. So that means half of the economy is UK is running on the port infrastructure only. So these are the three major examples which we can know this lead to the port led development. Now we are right now we are talking about the coastal area. Now we are talking about the inland waterways. That is again a major important topic to discuss over here. Now if we go by the inland waterways, so in our country, government has designated 111 river as national waterways. The major one, Ganga, Bhagirathi, Hooghly and Brahmaputra. This Ganga one is the national waterway 1 and Brahmaputra is national waterway 2. And there are many waterways are there in our country which are running around 20,000 kilometer of navigable inland waterways. Okay, and only a certain fraction we are utilizing right now. We have not developed this transport the way it has to be developed. Okay, but before that we should know what is the major advantage. Obviously the inland waterways will offer the lower transportation cost, because if you are running onto the downstream, obviously your fuel cost will be very less, because you will be going down the line of the river. Because of that you will having a reduced carbon emission. Safety, they have a enhanced safety if we are considering with road and rail transport, and these can connect with the remotest area of our country. So from wherever the river is crossing, automatically you are getting well connected by the inland waterway. Okay, so this inland waterway is being part of the multimodal connectivity. How multimodal? Like you can connect with the rail, road, air, port, inland waterways. So if all things you can connect in one way or the other, like from inland waterway you get connected with the road, from the road you can connect to the rail, then again the rail you get connected with the inland waterway. So this is how the multi-modal connectivity works, right? So because of that you can provide a very important seamless connectivity with highway, railways. So because of this you will be able to reduce the logistic cost, and also you will enhance the connectivity of all the areas, right? Then we have a cargo movement. Okay, you know that we have a bulk cargo. Bulk means you have a coal, you have fertilizer, you have cement, iron ore, whatever the bulk cargo is there, you can put it onto the smaller ship who can carry over to the national waterways, and they can bring the bulk cargo. You will not be needing the railway or road, because they release more and more carbon and everything. They are not being carbon neutral, but these ships can carry bulky cargo facility. Okay, they can carry the bulky cargo goods to various parts of the country. Okay, now which act is dealing with the inland waterways? So the National Waterway Act of 2016 is being the major act which is dealing with the waterway, which have declared 111 rivers as national waterway, and they are further working in the development of the transportation and also attracting the private investment, right? So development of the national waterway. So there are a lot of things which are developing, but the most developed are Ganga, Bhagirathi, Hooghly, Brahmaputra, and the Western Coast Canal are there, which are being well developed, and so slowly their infrastructure is also getting enhanced, and in these we have even started the container ship. They have been started building the terminals over there and dredging anybody know what is the meaning of dredging? I will tell you. It means that removing mud and stones from the base of the river. Okay, from the base of, because after some years there is a lot of mud and stone that get deposit near the base. So because of that the water capacity get decreased, and because of that the ships cannot reach to the terminal because the water capacity has decreased. So in order to again deepen the river or deepen the sea, this dredging facility is utilized. Then again, multimodal connectivity, connecting with all the places. We have Inland Waterway Authority of India, which is the main governing body of inland water transport, which regulates the inland waterways, which regulates the various projects that are going on, whether terminal construction, whether navigation, whether dredging, or whether jetty service, or whatever is there, or water sports are there, right? And focus is on the public private partnership. How? Because government need resources, and so government wanted to bring the public private partnership into hand, so that they can be helpful in inland waterway development, terminal construction, vessel procurement, and dredging activities. Okay, so this inland waterway is a very important eco-friendly transport service. This is a very important eco-friendly transport services. It requires very less fuel to operate, so that is why they release very less amount of carbon emission, and they can carry bulky raw material, they can carry bulky finished products, and they are being far away from the issue of road congestion also. Okay, now this is what is the major map that I wanted to show to all of you. So if you go by this map, you can see that right now we have a total national waterway of a length 4,503 kilometer, and there is a potential of 20,000 kilometer of national waterway. Okay, right now 15 states are being covered. So the major one is National Waterway 1, that is Ganga Haldia to Allahabad. Around 1620 kilometer this waterway is. UP, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal, this is catering to. Okay, so this is a major National Waterway 1. Then we have a National Waterway 2, this is on Brahmaputra River. Okay, Brahmaputra River is having largest volume of water, it is there, so this can provide a very seamless transport of bulky goods. So from Dhubri to Sadia. So this is 891 kilometer. Assam, West Bengal, Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya it is serving. From here it is going, right? Then we have a National Waterway number 3, which is on the downward side, West Coast Canal. So this is called West Coast. From Western Coast it is going on. Kollam to Kottapuram, 205 kilometer. It is only in the states of Kerala. Then National Waterway number 4, it is on Godavari, Krishna and canal is there. Kakinada to Pondicherry, 1078 kilometers. So this is again helping over here. Then National Waterway number 5 is on Brahmani River, Brahmani and Delta Canal. So it is supporting the Golakhali to Talchar region. 588 kilometer, Odisha and West Bengal it is serving. And then we have a National Waterways number 6 on Barak River, Lakhimpur to Banga, in process. It is in process, 121 kilometer. It is solving the problem of Assam, Mizoram, Manipur and Tripura. So this is how our national waterways are there, and 111 rivers are being declared as national waterway. Till now it is only 503 kilometers has been developed till now, but slowly government will be building and developing this whole concept of waterways. Now, what are the challenges that are being faced by our inland waterways? Since low utilization, low capacity, so since the capacity is low, so because of that it is having a low utilization, or we can call that as underutilization, because we don't have proper infrastructure and we are not providing them with better vessels Okay, and if even we are providing everything, we don't have proper navigational aid, like where we have to go, what direction, which direction, what is there inside the river. So everything has to be there for us. So this is all this problem: inadequate infra, outdated vessel, and lack of navigational aids. They are all hindering the full potential of the inland waterways, right? Then limited connectivity. Okay, sometimes we can see that the because we require a plain river to go in a plain areas. Okay, so poor connectivity with the major industrial center. Maybe there are a lot of industrial center are there, but they are not well connected by the river system. Maybe they don't have a proper river system, so because of that they will not able to transport the bulky goods or cargo goods. Okay, so because of that, again, this hampers the whole integration process. Then drought and flooding. So obviously the rivers are susceptible to the drought and flood. Okay, sometimes there is very less water, so you cannot run any kind of vessel over there. Sometimes there is too much of water, you will not able to contain, you will not able to control the water. So this water fluctuation poses a very huge challenge in navigation and maintenance. Then lack of private investment. The private investment or the private sector do not see any kind of incentives in working in the inland waterway. Okay, because during the time they have a huge costing, because they have to create terminals, they have to buy the vessels, they have to make all the infrastructure facility. Even the government policy guidelines are also not very clear. Lot of regulatory barrier, then lot of environmental issues are there, lot of environmental protests are happening. So because of that, the motivation that has to be to the private investment is not there. Then environmental concern, which we have already discussed, because it can lead to habitat destruction. Obviously it will lead to water pollution. Like if there is any cargo, like if we have a crude oil, if we have any coal or petroleum product, if it gets leaked, then it will be totally a disaster at that area. So obviously it will affect the natural flow of water, and we will not be able to properly provide sustainable development goals in that area, and we may hamper with the environmental in that whole process. Now, so what is the way, what we can do in order to enhance our inland waterway capacity? Now, some of the most important ways how we can augment the inland water capacity is that we are running a Jal Marg Vikas project, a very important flagship project, in which we are trying to enhance the capacity of our national waterway one, that is Ganga water, like Haldia to Allahabad and Allahabad, Varanasi, Haldia port. Okay, so we are enhancing the capacity by increasing the width, by increasing the depth, in order to accommodate a good amount of 15 to 2000 tons of vessels, so that it can carry a certain good amount of tonnage in this whole capacity. Then national waterways feasibility studies are going on around 106 new waterways, and 20 are found to be viable to be converted into the national water. So detailed project reports are going on. Then funding allocation, there is a central road and infrastructure fund is there. Obviously this has been created. Like around 2.5% of the CRF proceed, 2.5% of the CRIF proceed will be going in maintenance and development of the national waterway. Okay, then how we are enhancing the connectivity? Recently we have Ganga Vilas cruise, river water cruise. What? River water cruise has happened for 52 days. I just don't remember, like 52 days or 50 days it was there. So it goes from Varanasi, and it has shown all the cultural natural center to West Bengal, and then move into the Bangladesh. There they have seen Sundarban deltas and everything, and then move into the Assam areas, right, where Kaziranga National Park is there. So this is again enhancing the connectivity now. So that is why we have signed an MOU with Bangladesh, okay, for logistics and passenger movement between northeast side of the, because if you are if you are taking too much of time and going from a Indian mainland, it is taking a lot of time. But if you are going through from inside the Bangladesh with the help of various cruise ship and everything, you can directly reach to the northeast part of a country in a very easier way, right? Then government is running a called project that is called Project Unnati. Okay, focus is on for efficient and productive use of major port. They wanted to convert all these things into a total international standard ports. So around certain initiatives, are around 116 initiatives were identified and 95 were already completed. That means we are running on a mission mode in completion of that, because we know, like, if we are able to complete that, we will be able to boost our productivity and efficiencies, right? So to increase the trade volume and reduce the capital expenditure, right? Then we have a IMO, International Maritime Organization, Hong Kong International Convention, which focuses on global standard for safe and environmentally sound shipping recycling. You know, Alang is there, right? In Alang, we are doing the ship recycling and breaking. So India is the signatory of this. So India has to bear all the global standard. India has to follow all the global standards for safety and environment in all this process. Then biometric seafarer identity document. So there are a lot of people who are going into as a seafarer. Okay, so for that they have been biometric identity card has to be issued in order to make sure that the people so that the sea route should not be utilized for any kind of unlawful activity. So proper facial biometric data for seafarer are there. So which will be, India will be the first country that will be implementing this whole scheme. Okay, so this is how the inland water capacity augmentation we can do. Now we are coming into the Sagarmala project, the government of India flagship scheme, a very important government of India flagship scheme it is. Okay, so with the main focus area is, you know, India is having a coastline of 7,517 long coastline and 14,500 kilometer of navigable waterway. So this is a huge area, huge coastline, huge number of waterways, coastlines are there. So government is focusing like how we can convert this coastline and navigable waterway, and how we can improve the functioning of this area in order to lead the port-led development. Okay, how we can minimize the logistic cost, how we can improve the operational efficiency, how we can minimize the infrastructure investment. So this, all these things are being included in the Sagarmala concept. Okay, so this whole concept of Sagarmala we wanted to build to have a refined and very of efficient operation of port-led infrastructure development. Okay, so the whole concept came into was approved by the government on 25th of March 2015. Okay, so the main vision of this is reduction of logistic costs for both domestic and export import cargo with minimal infrastructure invest. That means we wanted to invest very minimal and we wanted to gain maximum out of it, so that we are able to reduce, once we are able to reduce the logistic costs, automatically the cost of product will go down, and then we will be remaining more and more competitive in the international market, right? So it will help in overall improvement of the efficiencies of the economy, and it will also increase our competitiveness of the export, right? Now here you can see these are all the major ports which are being part of the Sagarmala initiative. Okay, we have Haldia Port, Paradip Port, Visakhapatnam, Ennore, Chennai, Tuticorin, Kochi, Mangalore, Mumbai, JLN, Mumbai, Porbandar, Kandla, and various other small ports are there which are being built and which are to be supported under the Sagarmala project initiative, right? So here if we go, 4 main aspects are there, very important. Very important, 4 main aspects are there. So under the 4 aspects that are associated with Sagarmala project, The first and the foremost is the reduction of logistic cost, right? Government said that we wanted to do minimum investment, and we wanted to reduce the logistic cost to the maximum amount, okay, whether it is related to internal trade or whether it is related to external trade, okay, whatever it is. So with minimum infrastructure investment. Then second is enhanced domestic waterway, okay. We know that they have selected 111 waterways. Out of that, around 5 to 10 are there which are very very important. So we wanted to convert them into a multimodal transport junction. That means they should take active participation in the multimodal transportation networks, right? Then third one is lower logistic cost of bulk commodity, okay. We have a coal, we have a iron ore, we have a bauxite ore, okay, we have big containers. All these things are there which require heavy shipping, okay. If you are sending it through trucks, if you are sending it through the railway, it is taking a lot of cost. But if you are sending it through a bulkier goods, you are sending through the waterways or things, so any heavier industry which is located near the waterway, we should utilize the waterways regarding that, okay. So if we have a coal factory and which is near this river one, okay, river one, so you can run the shipping industry over here. You can put the coal in the shipping and you can transfer this coal to the various parts of the country, okay. Then automatically with this Sagarmala project, we will be able to create a good amount of jobs, and at the same time when the jobs are created, jobs will be created directly and indirectly, okay. And they will be also developing the skill set for the development of this whole port working, okay. So a skill set will be also developed in the maritime sector, and we will be having a skilled workforce for future, right? So this is what the four main aspects associated with Sagarmala, okay. So Sagarmala is working on 5 important pillars, okay, 5 important pillars and 24 category under these pillars that are there. So this is what being shown over here to all of you, like how they are going to develop. So there are 5 major pillars. First is port-led industrialization, we are going to focus. Then those people who are living near the port area, that is coastal community development. Then coastal shipping and inland water transport. Then port modernization and port connectivity, that we call it as we wanted to do a multimodal connectivity, okay. Right, sorry. So under port-led industrialization, we are focusing on the industrial clusters, a special economic zone, then thermal power plant and port-led industry. So any thermal power plant which is providing power sector to the port area. So nearby area, right? If there is a coal, that means we are getting coal from the Australia. So we should have a power plant near the port area so that we can utilize the coal then and there only. Okay, so we don't have to do extra transportation cost on transferring coal from port to other internal part of the country. Okay, so this is again port-led industrialization. Then coastal community, we will be developing their skills, fishery sector, ropeway, technical center, community development. All these has to be working in order to improve the coastal community, in order to get their more jobs, they can apply for the jobs and indirect jobs and direct jobs. Then coastal shipping, like how we can improve our coastal shipping and inventory. So this is the coastal tourism boosting development. Ro-ro taxi services are there, jetty services are there, cruise tourism are there, coastal infrastructure, island development. Right now we are developing Lakshadweep. Okay, recently the issue has happened with Maldives, right? So our Prime Minister has went to Lakshadweep and automatically the economy of Maldives comes into crisis, right? So Again, island development and inland waterway, which we have already discussed, right? Then port modernization. So we need to utilize state of the art new technologies so that better turnaround time, better efficient and logistic utilization can happen. So new ports have to be constructed in order to ease the pressure on the bigger ports. Okay, port modernization, non-port, major ports, minor port, and ship repair and recycle has to be also done on the international scale. And then after that we focuses on the port connectivity, how we can, with the road, with the rail, with the pipeline. Okay, like how pipeline, so pipeline should get connected. So there is a LNG, liquid natural gas is there, or natural gas is there. So you connect a pipeline directly to that place. Okay, you don't have to transfer through a container, or you don't have to transfer through a tankers. Okay, you directly connect the pipeline to the various consuming centers. Okay, so this is how we have to connect the area. Okay, so these are the 5 things: port-led industrialization, coastal community development, coastal shipping and inland waterway, port modernization, and port connectivity. So these all have to be done in this whole way, right? Now these are the projects which are coming. So we don't know where all these projects are running, but see here, under port modernization, total projects were approved of 94 projects were there. Okay, so project cost is 31,000 crore and number of projects that are under implementation is 65. Okay, and under development is 75 right now going on. Okay, so total number of projects they keeps on increasing somehow. Okay, so total number of projects are 234 and project cost is 291 and 622, right? So this is how the whole process, like here under the completed stage 94 projects are being completed, under development 65, then under implementation and under development 75. So total under port modernization 2,91,000 money that is being utilized. Then under port connectivity, completed 82 projects, under implementation 67, and under development is 130. So total project 279 and 2,06,363 crore rupees are being invested over there. Then port led industrialization, 9 completed, 3 under implementation and 2 under development. So total 55,887 crore. Then coastal community development, 21 completed, under implementation 32, under development 281. So under development 281, and I think there is certain addition problem is there. Okay, so 11,573 crore rupees are being utilized for this whole purpose. Then coastal shipping and inland waterway, 35 projects are going on, 67 are under implementation and 129 are under development. So total 231 projects are there which are working under that. Okay, right. So total projects 241 are completed, 234 are under implementation and 364 under development. So total projects that are being running is 839 and 5,79,971 crore rupees is invested. So government is working under the mission mode in improving the project in order to improve the port-led connectivity, in order to improve the port and shipping infrastructure in our whole country. Okay, now we are coming into the next topic, that is coastal economic zone, that is CEZ. What is the meaning of CEZ? Whenever we say CEZ, so this is again coastal economic zone that is a part of Sagarmala project only. Okay, the main focus of this coastal economic zone is to create 14 mega CEZ, 14 mega coastal economic zone. Okay, so the focus is on, like they have seen the China Schengen style coastal economic zone, how China has created their own coastal economic zone. So based on that, government of India is also focusing on 14 mega CEZ. Okay, so they will be covering 300 to 500 kilometer of the coastline and extend to 200-300 kilometer inland. Okay, so the geography, so there are a lot of scope areas there, like geographical scope areas there, like they will be developing in a spatial way, in a space. Okay, focus is on port-led development. So this will be a highly focus area under the Sagarmala. Okay, so here uniform policies will be there wherever they are located. They will not be keep on changing from state by state. Okay, then synergy with industrial corridor. So they will be properly planned with industrial corridor, like we have a Vizag corridor, like Vizag Chennai industrial corridor, Delhi Mumbai industrial corridor. So based on these corridor only, these coastal economic zones will be working in a forward way. Then we have a business friendly ecosystem has to be created in the coastal economic zone. You know that the way we are developing our SEZ, where the normal policies are there, which are very business friendly policies are there. So these coastal economic zones are to be developed so that proper ease of doing business can be implemented. Very easy and logistic facility, export import, the paperwork, the warehousing facility, environmental clearance. That means you wanted to provide them with the totally ease, the way the function has to be worked. So because people get a lot of issues whenever they are finding difficulty in getting clearances and everything. So this coastal economic zones will be there where you will be getting everything with ease, whether related to importing, exporting, decision making regarding environmental clearances. So do you have a properly time frame that has been set? Okay, so with this coastal economic zone, automatically it will boost the export, generate employment, and attract the foreign investment, because everybody wanted that they should get all the issues getting cleared in a ease, and nobody wanted to be the part of any system where you are getting a lot of issues regarding the paperwork, the then land issues and everything. So government is creating coastal economic zone under the all in order to by checking all these things in point. Then model concession agreement for port development. So there is a framework that has been developed for port development, which is focusing on private public private partnership for efficient utilization of port infrastructures. Okay, so this is focusing on by keeping in line with the proper how the private people can come and start investing, how they can utilize the coastal resources, how they can help in the development of the coastal communities, how they can be help in the coastal port-led development, trade and investment throughout the coastline. Okay, so this is especially focuses on certain particular ports, which will be around 14 mega coastal economic zones will be created, similar to the special economic zones, where all the things related to the business development of the coastal area will be provided to you at very ease in order to improve the ease of doing business. Now this is what exactly is the economic area like. We have a smart shipping that will be utilized in this area. Okay, inclusive growth, inclusive, like everybody is included: coastal people, coastal area, transport people, port area people. At the same time, the coastal area will be also helpful in harnessing the renewable energy, solar energy, wind energy, and everything can be utilized. And conservation of marine life and the ocean. So this has to be developed in such a way that proper environmental clearances can environmental issues cannot hamper with the development of the coastal area. Obviously create jobs, reduce poverty and end hunger. These are the goals of sustainable development goals are there. Okay, and if there is any issue, in order to tackle the plastic pollution is there, we have to tackle the marine pollution. Coastal communities are to be protected from the development of this coastal area. So government has to keep the development and sustainable way of life all together. Okay, and actionable and law has to be taken place if there is any illegal fishing or anything that is going on. So this is the blue economy, which is going to be supported by the coastal economic zone and all together. Okay, now how this all is running is because of the major port authority bill of 2020 that is being intact right now. It is with all of us. Now under the major port authorities bill of 2020, so this was earlier passed in the Lok Sabha. Okay, so here focus is on to provide autonomy to the major port of our country, so that autonomously they can increase their efficiencies and competitiveness, right? So this bill has replaced the Major Port Trust Act of 1963, and right now they are providing more and more autonomy in running the port operation. So here they are focusing on creation of Major Port Authority Board. Okay, so who is going to manage and control the major ports? So they will be replacing all the port trust, and this will be replaced by the Major Port Authority Board. Okay, then some power are being given, like full power, like they can enter into contracts, they can enter into planning, development, tariff fixing. Okay, except if there is in national interest that you have to consult the central government, security and emergency management. Then public private partnership projects. Okay, so whosoever the public private PPP projects are there, you can go and you can enter into contracts on concessional basis based on the board. Okay, so board has a right to set tariff regarding what is going to the charges, logistic charges and various other charges. Then landlord model. So in shift governance in central port to landlord model, where port infrastructure is leased to the private operator while port ownership remain with the authority. That means it is the landlord. That means we are giving you the port on a lease. Okay, so the government ports are being leased to the private operator, and the ownership remains with the authority. The way you go and take the flat on a rent, similarly the ports are also being given on a rent to the private people. Then constitution of adjudicatory body. So the board replaces the tariff authority for major port and then allow the major port to fix tariff and reference tariff for PPP projects. So they are focusing on the modern way of working, which is needed of the hour in order to remain competitive in the whole market. So what is the significance? Obviously it has decentralized the decision making. Now it is not being coming from the top, it is coming from the professional people who are running this whole operation. So they will be able to run this whole operation with greater efficiency and proper modernization. Then obviously it will lead to the transparency. Of the working, because they will be helping in facilitating faster decision making and transparent decision making process. Okay, so automatically it will help in improving the project execution. Then attract the private investment. So since the government is losing their control over this port trust, so automatically the private investment will be coming, because now private company knows that now whatever the decision are to be taken, they are to be taken by them. So automatically it will attract the private sector investment in the long run and medium. Then world-class infrastructure will be also developing, because here now the facilities will be developed. Government will be providing all the necessary policy support to the and regulatory support. All the will be provided. So private people will be getting all the support from the government, and this will make India a major port to compete globally in the world. Now we have to talk about the Vadhavan port. Vadhavan port, a very important port on the western coast of our country. So what is this Vadhavan port is all about? So recently the central government has approved the major port status to the Vadhavan in Maharashtra. So it is 190 kilometer north of JNPT port. Okay, so we have this here, we have Jawaharlal Nehru Port. So we have here 190 kilometer north of this JNPT. So it is like it has been set up as a SPV, special purpose vehicle port. The focus area is to ease down the pressure of the Jawaharlal Nehru Port. Okay, here the JNPT will act as a lead partner, and JNPT will be having at least 50% equity for project implementation. Okay, so why Vadhavan port? What is the advantage of this? What is the advantage? So here we are having a 18-meter natural draft and 20-meter navigational channels are there. That means it is a good depth which will require big vessels to stationed over there. Okay, so like we have like JNPT port and Mudra are there. So it is this having a more draft than the capacity of JNPT and Mudra. That means bigger ships of thousands of container capacity can be stationed at Vadhavan port. Okay, so entrance into the top 10 container port, because Vadhavan port will be propelled India into a league of country with top 10 container port globally, because this is going to be providing, because it is much better than the JNPT, and because it is providing a natural draft of 18 meter. It can handle larger vessel up to a capacity of 16,000 to 25,000 TEU, 20 feet equivalent units. That means the bigger ship that are running throughout the world can be stationed over here. So it will also lead to economics of the scale and also reduce the logistic cost and easing the spillover traffic. So whatever the spillover traffic was there in JNPT, it can reach to the Vadhavan port, and automatically a smooth cargo operation can be take place over this whole area. Okay, so this is again a very important port development under the major area, right? Now, what are the recommendations that are being there to enhance our maritime sector? So, how we can enhance our marine sector is, first of all, opening up of drilling market. Okay, like here, a lot of mud, stones get into the surface of the river and sea where the ships are being anchored, right? So because of that, the water capacity, the water capacity of that area goes down. So bigger ships cannot enter that area because the water capacity has decreased because too much of mud and stones are there. So this is like cleaning of mud and stone, right? So government should increase the competition of drilling market and let it allow more international player to be participation of that. Okay, so government right now, government drilling corporation of India is the dominant taking part, and very limited private vendor participation is there. So government has to open up this area. Then expedite the Sagarmala project. Government has to enhance this, and the government has to start working on a mission mode and also focus on coastal economic zone to leverage maritime potential. That is what. So here we are providing you with a summary of all the points, right? Then improving business environment, like free on board policy is there, how we can balance the import exporter risk are there, how we can implement the new technologies, and how we can meet with the global standards, right? Then relaxing the cabotage law, so boost coastal shipping. Okay, so these all are being important for improving the business environment of the maritime sector. Then new merchant shipping bill has to be improved in order to improve the business and transparencies, right? Sectors has to be open so that the private player should enter into the market without any fear of the government. Then inland waterway, yet another, is a very potential area which has not been utilized properly. So it helps in providing multimodal connectivity. Again, we have to provide a good amount of finances in order to improve the connectivity of the inland water transport. Okay, so funding gap has to be provided via viability gap funding. Okay, so we have a inland waterway authority India, so proper regulatory authority is there. So we have to streamline the whole process, let the private player to also enter into the market. Okay, so proper, clear and exact direction should be there regarding cargo, crew, vessel, security and everything. So you have to have a very clear rule, so that anybody who wanted to open up or anybody wanted to work in the marine sector should have a proper clear set of rules for all this. Okay, so these are the recommendations to enhance the maritime sector. Now there is a Maritime India vision of 2030. Okay, so very important vision it is. Around 150 initiatives are there that are running here and there in order to improve the maritime sector. Okay, so this was launched in March 2021. Okay, so there were a lot of consultation and everything is happening regarding port, shipyard, inland waterways, or legal expert and everyone. So they have identified around 150 initiative which are covering all the facets, everything related to the maritime. Okay, everything related to the maritime, whether it is shipping, coastal area, transportation, loading, unloading, exporting, port, anything. Okay, so right now we have a capacity of 17 million 20-foot equivalent unit. Same time, China is having 245 million TEU. So we are very far behind of China as per our maritime sector has been concerned. Okay, so the combined container thought output of a 10 top 20 major global ports stood at 357. Top 20 countries, it is 357 million TEU. So India is not having any landslide megaport or terminal infrastructure. So India is not having. Okay, so India needs a very ultra high container ship which required speedy loading, speedy unloading. Okay, so this is very important needed. So mega port we need, and proper transshipment hub for infrastructure modernization. So government is focusing on investing up around 1 lakh crore to 1,25,000 crore rupees, especially focusing on development of the port infrastructure. So under the Vizim, Vizim, Kerala, and Vadwana in Maharashtra, which we have already discussed, they have a natural draft of excess of 18 meter. Draft means from top layer of the water, how much ships can go down. Okay, so the natural draft of is 18 meter, which is considered very good for a big container ship, so that the big container ship from 18,000 to 25,000 TEU can be stationed at these ports. So this draft, this is the natural draft that is being provided. Okay, so government is trying to improve on all these working under the Maritime India vision of 2030. Okay, so this is what our Maritime India vision. Now the last topic that we have to discuss today is Draft Indian Port Bill of 2022. So what is this Draft Bill Port of 2022? So we know that Indian Port Act of 1908 is a century old. Okay, so we need right now a new port bill. Okay, so this is the draft port bill that has been came into the circulation. So the focus area is like focuses on integrated planning and consultative. So here state and the central government has to work in a consultative way. Okay, so this is one part of the draft port bill. Okay, because government has to focus on current frameworks, then international obligation, then environmental concerns are there, right? So government has to focuses on this. So here consultation altogether is needed. Then pollution prevention, because you know that lot of environmental tragedies have happened, oil leaks has happened, then lot of cargo terminals are being hit by the various type of ships and various other things. So there has to be aligned with international treaties. Then dispute resolution. So there is a lot of issues relating to dispute. So whenever any dispute happens, we don't know how to tackle this dispute. So there is a need to have a resolution mechanism that has to be devised regarding the port sector. Then transparency and cooperation through data utilization, how we have to go, how we can utilize the data, big data, machine learning, big data, artificial intelligence, how we can utilize for better transparent and cooperation in this whole field. Okay, so the key provision are there, certain key provisions are there in the bill. So let's discuss that. So some of the important key provision of the Indian Port Bill are, first of all, repeal and replacement. So they are trying to replace the 1900 Act, and now they wanted to streamline the whole process with the new act. Okay, then establishment of the national framework. So new state maritime board will be created for better and effective administration and management of the non-major port, because non-major port is being controlled by the state government, right? So again, there is a further enhancement and effective administration that has to be done. Then maritime state development councils has to be developed, because as government is running the concept of cooperative federalism, where a consultation with the state government, central government, everybody has to be taken, union territory has to be taken. So maritime state development council has to be put into the place. Then anything which is of no use, which have been like obsolete, okay, or any, and which doesn't have any relevance to the present world, so they have to remove. So removal and replacement of certain provision or certain unnecessary issues are there. Then updates on penalties. So modernization of penalties, like which reflects the current issues, offenses, amounts, enhancement of the enforcement efficacy, like proper efficiency and proper enforcement can happen regarding that. Okay, then after, so what is expected from this draft Indian Port Bill is that obviously it will lead to the promotion of integrated development, because here we will be working in cooperative federalism way, right? So it will enhance the ease of doing business. Then environmental compliance are there, because a lot of things in this bill are being related to the environmental compliance. So it will help, and it will put more stringent measure in order to control the pollution, more stringent measure in order to control the pollutions that will be there. Okay, so proper so proper like what we call it as it is aligning with the international standard and obligations, right? Then dispute resolution has to be streamlined. It has to be streamlined, so proper dispute resolution mechanism and framework has to be set into the place. So automatically, once we have a standard dispute resolution that is to be into the place, so automatically the industry will be having a clear idea on what is there and what is not there. Then transparency and accountability, obviously, with the help of better data utilization and trust and collaboration, we will be enhancing the transparent operation and accountable operation of the port operation in our whole country. Okay, so guys, this is all for today. I hope all of you have enjoyed the session. Do let me know if you have any issues that I will be clearing of the doubts in your current affairs session. So thank you so much. Bye bye, take care and have a good day.